Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in the fun, engaging way.
Wow, 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 wow. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the kitchen. It's almost Zoomtopia. We're so close. It's so funny. Like they're not actually giving us anything. Like we don't get new iPhones from new Zoom phones. There's no gear or anything, but we get bells and whistles, new toys.
Not even any swag.
Not even any swag. Most importantly, probably we get to see how they produce it, which means what we're going to be able to use to produce our stuff next year. That's probably the best part of Zoomtopia. I think we should at least get stickers. I got from a Zoomtopia a couple years ago. Where's my whale? Hold on. I have a whale.
I have that. I never put it together.
Yeah, this is my whale.
Nice.
Hello, focus. There we go. That's my whale. And you did have to put it together. So I'm pretty sure he's not right. But it was fun. At first, I was frustrated that I had to actually put together my own present from Zoomtopia. But But then I really appreciated it, and I love him, and he lives on my shelf. I need to name. Oh, Bluey, Bluey the whale, because he's blue. There you go. That's Bluey, or Zoomy. I guess Zoomy is probably better. Hey, that voice was Tamara Pika. Hi, Tamara.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great. I came in early so I could hear our Zoom test kitchen song, and my sound wasn't working, but I fixed
Oh
that problem.
no.
So I
mean,
got like the end and the whisper chorus.
who did, the truth is that we could all leave as soon as the song's over, because that really is the best part.
It's so good.
of
Live on Zoom it'll never be bad.
We're testing it all. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Doing good. How's everybody been?
You know what? It's been a crappy week in America, to be honest with you, but I'm hanging in there.
Excellent. That's good.
How you doing, Ray?
I'm quite well, thank you. All's good here in Central Florida. We're very lucky, Dave. We're hurricane-free so far this year, which is pretty.
Now
pretty
you
good
said
news.
something. I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, now
There's one
you said something.
There's one eking out there off of the western coast of Africa, but it's not coming to us.
We have been lucky so far. You're right about that, for sure. Yeah. Mr. Mobley, Brother Mobley.
Hello, sir. Hello,
How are you?
panel.
How you doing?
I am fine. Happy to be here.
Good. And doctor, professor. Is it doctor or professor? What is it? It's both, isn't it?
This is a very humble
Highness?
doctor.
Is it your royalness?
Shall I put on my turban and salute you?
No, sir. I salute you. Good to see you here. Hey, how did your thing go? You had a big thing, and did you use Mentimeter?
No, it didn't do what they wanted to achieve, which
Oh.
was to have the final countdown of percentages of who the winner was, and Mentimeter doesn't do that.
Gotcha.
So we ended up using Kahoot.
Oh, great.
And Kahoot did it. It worked perfectly.
Fantastic. I'm so glad.
I learned a few lessons, which I'll share a little later.
Oh, good. Good. Hey, Jason, you just popped in. How are you, sir?
Hey, doing great. Thank you, Dave. How about yourself?
Good to see you. Ray, you don't know what Kahoot is? Are you kidding me?
Totally
Oh.
clueless.
We have to play.
Yeah.
we do. Right now.
We all can Kahoot.
All right, hold
We
on.
need to Zoom Kahoot.
So there is a Zoom app for Kahoot. I'll be honest with you, I don't really understand why. It doesn't really do anything that I could figure out other than, but let me go ahead and get into my account here. I have no idea what my account is.
Well, it did one thing that I learned. If your participants are on a computer desktop, then when you launch Kahoot, it appears on their desktop. But if they're on a mobile device, Kahoot doesn't support the mobile device. So they have to go to a browser on their mobile device and register there. Whereas if you're on a desktop, from Zoom, when you launch Kahoot, it appears as an overlay, just like not within the window of your Zoom, but a window appears on your desktop.
Right. So let's find something here. Let's play guess the flag. Oh, you have to pay for it? No, I don't want to pay for it. I would do my own account. I have no idea what my login is. Let me see if it's this one. Maybe it's a different.
Hasmuk, did you use the Kahoot Zoom app, the Kahoot webpage, or the Kahoot plugin in PowerPoint?
Did you use any of those?
Sorry, I purchased it through the browser, and then downloaded, not downloaded, but integrated as the app on Zoom through Zoom Marketplace. But the Zoom Marketplace was very limited. You could launch the app. It didn't quite appear in a side window as the other integrated Zoom apps you have. It kind of appeared in its own floating window. So you could launch it from there. And once you launch your game or your quiz, it's not shown in the Zoom, one of the panel windows, which Mentimeter does, but Kahoots didn't. So I had to bring it in as an input from an extended monitor into the meeting.
Right. So this is, you'll have to forgive me because I've only used this with like Jewish stuff. So this, I'm trying to, all right, we'll do this one. So forgive me for the content, but so basically when I say host live, it's gonna, and this is how I do it. I just do it with a, with a screen grab like this. So
Right.
it's gonna give you a pin, and you can then either scan the QR code. Let me just mute that. That's muted now, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, actually, you know what? You can mute it down here too, because I can still hear it. There we go. You can scan it, you can put the game pin in, and then you'll show up in here. So let me go ahead and scan this. Hello. Oh, my camera just decided to, there we go. And this is the piece that I'm not sure how this is any different than using the app in Zoom.
The Zoom app.
Yeah.
So the difference is around the share functionality. As Hasmukh mentioned with Mentimeter, when you're using the Zoom app and you share the app, the functionality goes through Zoom. People can push things on the keyboard. But with this, the input is coming through the mobile device, and then the output through the Zoom app is being shared into the Zoom meeting. But there is a little floating share button within the Kahoot Zoom app that has to be activated for it to share into the Zoom meeting, unless you do like Hasmukh did, which was just drag it onto the monitor that is being shared into the Zoom meeting.
Right. Yeah. So which is essentially, I guess, what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of bringing it in. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I only had about hour and a half to learn this thing before the live event, so I wasn't very happy, feeling insecure if this is going to work or not.
Yeah.
But the client was happy.
Kahoot's it's a fun, nice, interactive piece. By the way, speaking of sharing and things, can anyone explain this to me? So I opened up, there's a little, one of those doohickey things, the little up arrow things next to apps. So next to in your menu bar, next to apps, I at least have a little up arrow doohickey thing. And when I click that, it brings this up right here that says collaboration options. I've never seen this before. I don't know what this is. Who can start a collaboration? And who can start a collaboration when someone else already started a collaboration? What is a collaboration? Does anyone know?
It's a share, and depending upon how the app is written, determines whether it shows up as another tab in the meeting or...
A collaboration is an app? Is that what you're saying?
Well, when you're doing it within this app, the context is you're using the up arrow, the caret that's next to the apps menu that's triggering this. So yes, this window is related to the function that you clicked it on, which is the apps.
But what does collaboration mean? That's the piece I don't know what that is.
Whether or not the people in the meeting have permission to push buttons on your app.
Oh.
That's the
Okay.
That's
So
the
like if you're
layman
running,
jargon.
if you're running a meeting and you have like a co-host who's running certain aspects of it, you could share your apps with them,
Oh,
I'm assuming.
okay.
David,
Although
I'm
I don't
seeing that
have
as
a-
co-host.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
seeing the same thing. I see the same thing as you do as co-host.
Yeah, I don't have though co-host. Like it's just host only or all participants. No, I've just never seen this before. I wasn't sure what it was when it popped up. Okay.
It affects button pushing. How's that for
Thanks. Button push.
technical documentation?
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of which, at some point later on in the show, I found some undocumented restrictions regarding interpretation.
What's that about?
You want to tackle it now?
Sure, go for it.
So the other day I'm doing this event where I'm using interpretation channels, but specifically the sign language interpretation channels. So if you're not familiar with that, interpretation channels are audio, but sign language interpretation are separate video channels, obviously, since you're dealing with the hearing impaired. And much like other interpretation channels, you assign people to be the sign language interpreter. They appear in a separate video stream that can be turned on or off by the person that wishes to view it. So there's a whole panel as the host that you're monitoring. Are your interpreters logged on? Is their video live? Da 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 da. Green light, red light. Okay. And then when everything is green light and ready to go, there's a start button. The start button is grayed out. Oh, darn. What did I miss? Turns out if your meeting is in focus mode, you cannot enable the visual translation. The start button is grayed out. You turn off focus mode, which fortunately you can do live in meeting. You turn off focus mode, button is active and ready. You can smack it and everything works the way that it's supposed to. But unless you didn't know that focus mode affects that, everything kind of hangs in limbo and your button's grayed out and you're wondering why you can't start sign language translation.
Sorry, what's the connection between focus mode though? Why does everyone need to be in focus mode?
Yeah, so good question. So focus mode, what focus mode does is it only allows video channels to be broadcast out to the meeting of people that you want. So as a host, I would select focus mode if I only want, let's say, Dave and Mike to video channels to be viewable to the rest of the audience. They don't need to see Tony getting a cup of coffee or, some kid in class picking their nose or a Zoom bomber doing something inappropriate. So as a host, you're controlling what actually gets broadcast out. That's focus mode. Even if an attendee, if a participant, not the host, clicks gallery, they would still only see the people that I, as the host, choose to be active. So you're focused in on just what you want folks to see, not any other distractions that might pop up in the gallery. Okay, makes sense, because since your sign language people are coming in on a video channel, focus mode prevents that video from being transmitted. Now, I can spotlight them, but then they're not being broadcast through the sign language separate video channel. So you have to turn off focus mode, and then the video matrix works the way it's supposed to.
Okay. The more you know.
So
The more you know.
It's either or then. You can't have both. You can't have focus.
Cannot have both. And like I said, undocumented feature found out in the heat of battle.
Is that a plus, you think, or a... Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so Jason, basically, it sounds like the sign language channel is being classified as a participant.
The sign language channel is classified as a video channel. It's dumb that way, right? So if it's a non-spot lit video, then in focus mode, it is not transmitted to all. I could see it as the host, but I can't transmit it to all unless I turn off focus mode, in which case gallery.
Could a workaround be making that person a co-host? Can you do that with because as a co-host, then they would be visible even in focus mode. I'm not suggesting we should make everyone co-host. I know there are problems with that, but I'm just curious. Can you make a translator?
I don't know the answer to that until I try, because the visual translators are on a separate video channel. So imagine in this meeting, the view that you're looking at now, whether it's gallery or whether it's speaker view or however you have it, imagine looking at this screen and then seeing an additional floating tile on your screen that you can move and resize. That is the separate interpretation channel.
And that separate floating tile goes blank when you turn on focus mode.
It's not from a non-host perspective. That tile isn't even there. It's not enabled, because as the host, I cannot enable it unless focus mode is turned off. The start button is grayed out.
I see what you're saying. That's crazy to me that they didn't just include that in the exclusion list of what shouldn't be turned off. But that's wild. Yeah.
Just put it in the documentation.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense now that I've, thought through it, and I'm like, yeah, focus mode is a restriction on video. This is a video channel. They didn't elevate it or give it any special permissions. Therefore, okay, plausible, makes sense. Fun to find out when you're, getting ready to launch an event and you're like, why isn't this working?
So Jason, let me just go a little further with this then. Could you have enabled, as you can enable in focus mode, anybody's video, could you have enabled them? Or not?
Well, okay, so what you can do is, if you know that it's related to focus mode, you turn off focus mode, you slam the start button, you can go and turn focus mode back on, but I haven't finished testing to see where down in the weeds it might else affect. Okay, so can't really 100% say exactly what happens when you do that, but at least from initial testing, yes, it gets the signal out and pushed on. But the minute I turn focus mode on, someone coming late to the meeting and they hit the interpretation button, I couldn't tell you whether or not they actually get it or not.
Understood.
Aside from if I had no idea that it was related to focus mode and I'm in oh crap mode, then I would just go to the gallery view, find my sign language people, give them a hi sign that they're going live, and spotlight them. And then that way they would appear on the screen along with whoever is the presenter giving, a talking head presentation.
Right. So yeah, so that is, I wish Robert was here, because I know that he's done ASL stuff and sign language and regular sign language stuff. So that actual topic we didn't talk about this week early too, when we had Robert as our host, as a host when we did our show this week. That's actually a good question. I don't know the answer for that either. I don't run focus mode enough to do that, so I can't vouch for it, but I have done it before and I know what you're talking about, Jason. So cool.
Yeah, focus mode is a handy security feature. That's when I use it, that's probably 90% of the time that I use it. In an academic setting, if you're dealing with, like, say, for example, elementary kids, middle school kids, focus mode is great because, then you're not getting the distraction of the kids sitting there in their hoodie picking their nose during the middle of class or whatever.
Is there a hotkey to start focus mode, like to toggle in and out of focus mode? Does anyone know?
I'm not a host on this one, so I would have to look.
Yeah, I can make you a host. A co-host. Will co-host work?
You can. I don't think so. And since you're in a PMI, I don't know if you even have focus mode.
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, so if you hover over focus mode, if there's a keyboard shortcut, it usually will reveal it there.
Oh, yeah. So I don't see that. Start focus mode. I'm curious if there's one in the Zoom.
I'm checking the workplace app right now as we speak, David.
There's probably a code for it that you could find and program into BitFocus
Yeah,
if that's what you're thinking.
Well, no, I'm just even not. All right, let's see. So I'm in here are the settings. If you're ever looking, by the way, for the hotkeys, if you jump into if you jump into settings and then keyboard shortcuts. So this is the list of keyboard shortcuts here. Let's see if there's one for start, screen sharing, cloud recording.
So all together now, does everybody wish that we can actually search the keyboard shortcuts?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
There is a web page for it.
Dual monitor control.
I'll drop the link in the chat here.
I don't see anything in here. No, it doesn't look like it. Just because the reason I'm asking is because when you were talking about security, I was thinking that, boy, it'd be nice to have a button on my Stream Deck where I could just press it and it just goes into focus mode. You know, and everyone's cameras are shut off, everyone's muted.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
I mean, it prevents Zoom bombs because remember, video. If you're using speaker view, the automatic switcher goes to the video tile that's making the most noise.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we had one show where we had a Zoom bomber pop in and they played like, I don't know, horn blast or something that was obviously much louder than everybody else. And sure enough, it switched over to their webcam feed, which was something inappropriate. That wouldn't have happened in focus mode. You would have heard the sound, but the video tile wouldn't have gone over there.
In focus mode, does focus mode, when you toggle on, maybe we'll actually try it. When you toggle on focus mode, does it also, it doesn't have any effect on mute. I'm going to click it. So I just started focus mode. So now I can still see everyone.
Because and co-host. Yeah.
And same here.
But you
host and co-host, but we cannot, let's see.
You can only see me and Mike.
And I could see Ray Franklin because I'm assuming he's a co-host.
But
I could see myself as confidence. But yes, for me, Tony, no. Tamara, no. Asmo, none of those.
Until I do this. And now you should be able to see Tony because I spotlit him.
Yep. And in gallery view, I could see everyone who has their camera turned on.
In gallery view?
I'm sorry. No, it's still in focus mode. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you turned off. So in gallery view, I only see the co-hosts' cameras that are on, myself, and then if you spotlight somebody else, then they would become active.
So I just I turned it off. Is there a button? Is there, maybe I'm just not remembering, is there a button or an action that will throw everyone in focus mode and mute everyone? Or could, I'd love to have a button on my Stream Deck that's like my emergency button.
I don't think it's one command. I think it's a two-step command.
Action or something in
Companion, you could actually layer the two. You'd have to do focus mode first, then mute all.
What does lock meeting means no one else can get in?
Yeah, lock meeting, but that's right. Lock meeting, people just stay in the waiting room.
Right. Okay.
So I would, let's see. So the button you're looking for, David, is
there is something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe because I'm an attendee. It's under the security features. And let me launch a separate one so that I can quote it right. If there's a shield, and then in the more menu, it's listed under security.
Yeah. So there's no more on the shield anymore. So the shield is now called Host Tools, And that's just, I just have a bunch of toggles. There's actually nothing that I can click. I can suspend participant. Oh, wait. What is suspend participant
Here we go. That's it.
Is that everyone?
It's the kill button. Yes.
Now,
Yeah,
if I-
Muddy was actually just saying in YouTube, he says it's called suspend meeting.
And if I press that, am I able to get the meeting back? Here comes Muddy. He
Yeah,
knows.
it doesn't
Muddy's
dump the
coming.
meeting. It shuts off everyone's webcam and mutes their mics.
We'll give Muddy a few seconds here and he'll let us know live from outside.
Yeah. Hey, Muddy, do you know if I press this button, can we come back?
Yeah, that's what I was coming in to tell you. I typed it in the YouTube chat, but suspend participant activities. It's a pause. It pauses. It closes the breakout rooms. It pauses all activities, but it doesn't end the meeting. So you can then deal with the problem and then reopen, unsuspend the meeting, and it'll come back.
All right, so I'm going to click this and let's see what happens. I've never done this. Oh, so I got a pop-up. Sorry, let me show everyone this while I'm doing it. So I got a pop-up that says suspend all participant activities. Everyone will be muted. Video and screen sharing will be stopped. Breakout rooms will be closed. Zoom apps will be disabled, and the meeting will be locked. Okay, well, I don't actually
uncheck that little box. Report to Zoom.
No, I'm not going to actually click it because I don't want the Zoom app to be disabled because we're streaming.
Right.
So I don't want to ruin that. But yes, you would, if you are testing this, uncheck the report to Zoom. Okay. And I wonder if there must be a hotkey for that.
Yeah. David, I can't see on your screen in the meeting. Is there still the shield in one of the corners within the Zoom meeting display?
So I have a shield at the bottom.
At the bottom. And if you click on the shield, does that reveal the suspend activities
Correct.
to you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the shield is and the shield has been around for a while, but they've called the button different things.
Right.
So in my mind, it's always been the kill button, and I'm looking for the shield.
I still want a Stream Deck button though, because I want to find the shield, to open the shield, to find the suspend. I don't know. That's just 3 more clicks that I need to do.
David, was it a shortcut that is like a control something or Apple something?
I don't know. I'm looking for it now. I don't even know if there is one. I actually don't.
It's a big red button you have to buy separately. It comes under a glass and with a little hammer, you smash the glass.
Break glass in case of, yeah.
You can buy it at Office Depot.
Yeah, Mighty gave me the visual that they used to use on Deal or No Deal.
Right. Enter, exit, full screen. No. I don't see one. That's a shame. That would be a nice button to have.
So there's a differentiation between shortcut keys in Zoom that are keyboard shortcuts and API calls that you can make from Companion, right? So I'll look under the Companion. Perhaps there is something that you can, program to a button through Companion, but it's not just a simple keyboard shortcut.
Yeah. Well, here, let me actually. I should have it. Where's Companion? Dear Lord.
Yeah. So what Mighty's talking about, you're talking about Zoom OSC type of command, Mighty, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a keyboard shortcut for mute all.
So here's all right. So let's look in the OSC module. Breakout actions, data and custom device settings and actions. No. Role and management actions.
You can have an eject all button. It says everything.
Yeah. I don't see it there. I don't
Is
see
there
it.
a manage participants?
Yeah. I mean, you could simply make a 2-action button. It's not the end of the world. It's just curious.
Yeah, because David, I already see that you have toggle mute already on your Stream Deck there.
Yeah.
And is that your toggle mute or is that everybody's toggle mute?
No, that's whoever. So if I were to select you, I can mute you or unmute
Right. Yeah, what you did. Yep.
you.
And it popped up and said, no, the co-host has unmuted you and that he can now hear your audio.
Yeah. I don't see it. Okay. So it could, I mean, there could be one, but I don't, it may also not be in a preset. It may be something that you could just build, which is entirely possible. Ooh.
Well, and as a quick example of some options that are available through the API and through Zoom OSC that actually come in very handy, there is a mute all and there's a short keyboard shortcut for mute all. But within Zoom OSC, you also have options like mute all except co-hosts and mute all except Spotlight, which is really a handy one because that's, oftentimes someone is Spotlight when someone else unmutes, and so I want to be able to unmute everybody but leave the people who are Spotlight unmuted who are presenting. So
Right. So here are those: mute all except the host, mute all except selected, mute all except all hosts, mute all except Spotlight. Yeah. No, there's a tremendous amount of control in here. Absolutely.
Wow, that would have been very useful in my production, because with over 300 people, a couple of people were just yakking away while the main presenter was delivering. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I want to share some other experiences whenever we move on.
Go for it.
So coming to licensing, when I did the event with the same team, I changed from a pro account to business account so I could cater for at least 300 people. And then when they ran the participant report, they said to me, oh, there were 319 people. So I said, how did Zoom allow 19 extra folks? And I didn't pay that much attention. This time they said we're probably expecting over 480 odd people. So I bought an extra license for 500 people, the monthly one, to top it up. And the system then said we had 519 people in the meeting. So I said, okay, there's something amiss here. So then when I ran the participants report, it counted folks going in and out of the meeting as additional attendees. So in fact, I had 580 people. So the report showed you folks entering the meeting multiple times. So it actually counts the number of times or number of folks that come into the, I assume. So anyway, when I ran the report, I had to explain to the client how many actual minutes that they spend in the meeting. So I took the spreadsheet and I started sorting it out on the participants, then manually tabling in Excel the number of minutes for each participant. And then the right side of my brain said, why don't you just push it into ChatGPT and have it sorted out? And he did a brilliant job. So in fact, it did the columns for me with participant once, not listed multiple times. And it said, okay, this person went in and out 8 times or 9 times. And these were the total number of minutes of presence in the meeting. So that was very, very useful exercise.
I'm surprised at the way they count people there, but Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, it counts and so it counts not just as Hasmukh is explaining, but from the waiting room into the main room. That's one hop. From the main room into the breakout room, that's another hop. From the breakout room back into the main room, that's another hop. So that, let's say that's one person that did that, they show up as 3, unless when you're pulling your report in Zoom, then you can show unique. And then and then it boils it down to one, and it'll show the duration. And usually when I throw it in Excel, I also check this box, export with meeting data, so I've got the session and the date. Now, as a host, if I get a message from an attendee that's saying, hey, I keep getting bounced out, I'm having problems logging in, I start to go to the breakout room and then it dumps me out, I will uncheck the show unique users, because now I'm going through, dumping it into Excel, sorting by a user, and then looking specifically at their in and out times as they go from waiting room to main room to breakout room, and trying to figure out, okay, is there, is this a second? Is this 10 seconds? Or is there 20 minutes and they're just using, oh, I had a technical problem and that's why I couldn't join. So that's two different ways that I use that report. But it doesn't affect if you have a webinar 500 or a meeting 100 or something like that. Yeah, there may be 300 people listed in the report. Like, I don't even know if this is really here. 390. Where's my people? Here we go. Sorry, 52. I don't even know if this is really 52 people or not on this particular report. It could be 5 people that move 10 times, but it's not
Right.
it's not gonna.
But how does that impact billing?
It doesn't.
So,
It
but
doesn't.
if you have 500 seats and it's counting 590 people because they're coming in and out and in and out, are you getting charged for those extra people?
No,
No.
no, not at all. Not at all.
okay.
And
They charge you for
but the-
unique.
Unique.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
but the fact is, it still readmits the people, even though you've gone over 500. So that's what I found strange. But now this explanation makes sense.
And
The other thing-
Hasmuk, if you forget the unique users checkbox
Yeah.
when you pull down
Yeah.
the report
Mhm.
in Excel, you just you go into the data tab and you choose remove duplicates, and then pick probably the email address or whatever unique identifier, and then it'll strip out all the hops in there, and it'll show you a pure count of how many people were actually present in the room.
Got you. And talking about emails, the majority of the folks that joined the meeting were from their mobile devices, being a mobile company. And we always use the waiting room as part of, so person has to be signed into the Zoom account and then waiting room. Because of the numbers, the company felt that maybe we should dispense with waiting room, but we left a tick for must be signed into your Zoom account. So when I ran the report for the participants, I was quite taken aback that hardly anybody's email was listed in that report. So I'm not quite sure how to explain that.
Hasmuk, the question I have for you is that did you ask for it when they did the sign up?
Say that again?
Did you ask for an email address when they registered?
Okay, good point. But I thought, well, there was no registration.
No
They were
registration.
just sent a link, non-registration. And I assume that if you have the tick mark that you have to be signed into your Zoom account, I assume they have to insert their email to log into their Zoom account. And I assume that Zoom would pick up that login email. Now, my staff said that, I'm not sure if it's on a mobile device or the desktop. They said some folks can log in with their phone number.
Mhm.
So if they log in with the phone number, obviously it doesn't record the phone number in the email column. So I was just puzzled by and confused by that report.
Yeah, as far as I know from knowing a little bit about the back end, being more and more involved with the developer end of it, is that not necessarily will Zoom give certain security credentials willy-nilly, shall we call it. So it wouldn't surprise me that there is no email in there because you did not have them register and say, here is my email address. Now, not necessarily do they have to log in with that email address to use their Zoom account, because I've done that before
Gotcha.
as well.
Gotcha.
But it's
Yeah.
more of then, it came that column might be related to a registration email data as compared to, the physical person connecting with their physical email address, because they might not necessarily want to give that away as private
Okay.
information.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because of privacy. So if you have tick, you need to be logged into your Zoom account. The participants report will never list their email. That's what we're saying.
Correct.
That I think is fair, just based on Zoom security, Hesma. But again, if you did have a bit of a registration
Yeah.
part of it, or if you did use the CSV type of scenario
Yeah.
too, where you basically, said certain people can come to the certain event, then of course you could always in that CSV have the email address of that person in there.
Yeah, I got some homework to do because the day before I had a medical event and they had to register. But I haven't run a participant report. So I have the email based on the registration report. But if I look at the participants report, if we say this is how it works, I assume in the email columns, the emails won't appear.
Yeah, I can't vouch either way, but for me, if you're not seeing anything right now, either something hasn't been enabled or disabled within your account or within that whole process, or it's Zoom just protecting the users security wise, that they're just not willy-nilly going to give you that, and you didn't ask for it, right, as a registration.
That's the big thing. If you don't ask for it in the registration, you're not going to get it. Now, by checking the box, must be signed into your Zoom account. Okay, that's a yes, no. That doesn't mean that you get any information about their Zoom account. It's just, are they a signed in user? In other words, they're not coming in through a web browser, not logged in. They have a Zoom account. They've signed into their Zoom account. They're using either the desktop workplace app or the mobile workplace app. They're signed into their account and they join your meeting. And then so what happens at that point is they're able to enter your waiting room. You're able to bring them into the main room. And then when you pull down an activity report, you will see, excuse me, you will see their, here I can kind of show you an example. You will see their name that they used to sign in to their account, and then if they rename themselves, it will appear in parentheses. The email field won't appear, it'll be blank. You'll see their join time, their leave time, the duration time, a guest, whether they're part of your domain or not, and then if you've included any other activity like polling, reactions, quizzes, then those will be more columns in the report, and then that's what you get. The only way that you get email address is if you have asked for it in a registration form along with anything else in a registration form.
But if you ask for that in the registration form, will it appear here or only in the only registration report?
It will appear in the, this is the participants report, which is under usage.
Yes.
So I can pull ahead of time that they've registered, and then I can pull after the fact. I can pull stuff like this.
Okay,
did they screen share? Did they turn their video on? Did they use closed captioning?
Okay.
So I can add those to the report. So in your case, here's where it would be handy. If you check the box that said must be logged into your Zoom account, and you included this checkbox, telephone usage with participant ID. Where this is handy for you is, let's say you're giving attendance credit, continuing education units, that type of thing. And someone joins your Zoom meeting on a telephone number. You know, it says country code 03214, blah, 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 blah. And you have no idea in the participants panel who this phone number belongs to. If you check the box, must be signed into your Zoom account, and you check this box, telephone usage with participant ID, it'll take that phone number and show you that a user ID that's tied into the Zoom account. And if you know who that is, now you can give that person credit for attending.
Wow. Gosh. Thank you.
The power of Zoom. And again, Jason's only talking about these, this is only the stats level right now too, that Jason is talking about. This is non-events platform. And this only
Right,
goes
this
up
is just
to
meetings. In webinar, you have even more stuff you can pull.
and in events, it's even more.
For this mobile company, this has been quite transformational in the sense that they have about 30 odd people doing field work in supporting their stores, some 400 odd people. And because it's tiered, the top management gets all filtered, massaged information. And when we did this exercise now twice in a row, and I started pulling off all the data based on the quizzes and other stuff that we ran, suddenly it's reverberating upwards. And it's just been an amazing experience.
Yeah, the key is asking for that interactivity and then measuring that interactivity. Right?
Exactly.
Because if you're just giving CEUs for attendance, then folks will log in, leave the meter running, so to speak, walk away, go make a pot of coffee, watch TV, do whatever it is that they actually want to do, come back 40 minutes later and, push end, and then they get credit for attending. They don't get credit for participating.
Can I make a radical suggestion? Because that's been me a couple times. And if people are walking away from your meeting and just getting credit, then your meeting isn't worth having. Or your class
Absolutely.
isn't worth having.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
David, I'll actually go one step further with that. You're not compelling enough of a presenter in that meeting.
I will throw in this because, like Hasmukh, we design meetings for all kinds of clients. There are some, we'll call them boards, governing boards that determine how credit is issued, whether you call it a continuing education unit or whatever acronym, okay? And there's one in particular that I deal with, and they specify that there must be 3 polls within 12 minutes that are responded to. And that is the only criteria that must be met in order. So it doesn't matter if the meeting is great or as painful as nails on a chalkboard. Within 12 minutes, I have to launch 3 polls that people have to push buttons to. And that's how they get credit. It's terrible.
I'm a little bit more brutal in the medical side of it. They have this notion of continuous professional development. And one of the measures, the most difficult points to get is ethics. And so we had on Wednesday ethics from the university. And we awarded CPD points. And what we said, if you are online, you do not qualify for CPD points. But if you are present, you get awarded CPD points. And presence is indicated by your camera being on. So that's the stance that the university, with my suggestion, took. And almost everybody had the cameras on because they do want the points. But forcing them to keep the cameras on elevated the quality and immersiveness of the experience. And suddenly everybody was having a conversation and discussion, and they kind of forgot about that. I have to switch off my my camera, so it's hard. It's a uphill battle. But I said to the university, how can you award somebody CPD points if they just online and they're busy mowing the lawn or preparing breakfast? And yeah,
That's right. Watch it if you make camera on a requirement. This is where focus mode becomes handy too, right? Because now as the host, you're responsible to watch all those video feeds and make sure, somebody isn't taking their laptop into the bathroom with them because, they want to be present. They want their CPEs or CEUs or CPDs or whatever, and they forget the camera is on. And they just invited 150 people, medical professionals or whoever, internal auditors into the bathroom with them.
so I realized that problem, and so if it's more than 49, obviously you have to keep switching your gallery pages. So I brought in a big TV into the room, and I used tiles to get many more on the screen, and that allowed us to monitor better than going through all the gallery views.
It
I
is a
hadn't
battle
thought-
for sure.
I hadn't thought of that you could use a very sort of simplistic way to use tiles is just to get a much bigger gallery view. What is
Exactly.
is there a max? I'm running
I would think it would be hardware based at that point.
max participants. Let me see. I've got 30.
Hasmuth, while David's doing that, how many did you actually have in your tiles?
Oh no! On Wednesday I had just over 40, so I didn't have to do that. But my TV was ready in case. But I did do it at the previous one, where I had about 70. So I figured that can't ask my staff to keep flipping from gallery because there's no way
Right.
of telling. Well, two things. We were looking more for who switched their camera off rather
Of
than
course.
somebody have the camera on and then having a bathroom break. That's not so.
Right. Exactly what Jason was just talking about. Exactly. Yeah. But okay, so you have for sure done it in practice for your event at least 70 at this point.
Exactly.
Okay. So there you go.
And the
David.
key
So at
is
least
to
70.
get
Go ahead, Jason.
the key is right. It's an uphill battle, and you have to discuss with the client and then figure out creatively what leeway you have with the board that's granting these professional credits. Is okay. What is that we want to measure? Do we just want to measure that people showed up? Do we want to measure that people are interested in this topic? Do we want to measure that they actually learn something? Do we want to measure that they actually can do something post learning whatever it is that they're supposed to do? And those are 4 different kinds of measurements. And you could use Kahoot or Mentimeter or SurveyMonkey or a poll in Zoom, or there's all kinds of tools, but you have to know what is it that we want to measure. And then that's where we start. And then we say, okay, now what is the meeting duration based off of what it is that we're trying to accomplish? Because there's another board that they're like, your meetings have to be at least 45 minutes. Okay, they don't have to be good. They don't have to contain any information. They just have to be 45 minutes. So it's always that battle of trying to make it a great experience because attendees don't want to leave the meter running and walk away. Oh, another boring webinar. And obviously your clients want to see some ROI, some good off of it. So
I'm on a fortunate ground that almost every event, including all the medical events, they're all webinar based, and so very few actually have meetings. So I have the option then to be a little bit more firmer in transitioning from webinar to a meeting.
And then now we just got to convince Hasmukh to actually now to go to Webinars Plus. So he has a backstage.
That thought did occur.
It occurred. We're that's halfway there. That's not no. So
There's something I learned from Alex Lindsay is to say he likes to go slow and not make major dramatic changes. So I'm trying to walk a little bit before I start running.
mhm.
Can I
And
interrupt for a moment to welcome Frank and to say thank you for teaching me the word panopticon? I didn't know what that was, and now I can see what that is. A circular building, typically in a prison. So, which is very appropriate for our discussion of continuing education, because it feels sometimes like you're in jail. And Muddy says there is a max of 250 participants for tiles. Thank you, Muddy. I was over there playing with it, seeing if I could figure it out. So 250, but that's a nice big tiles view. Can I do one little experiment for a second? Tamara, can you unmute for a second? So
Yeah.
I just added I just want to try this because we were talking about it before. I added on BitFocus a hold on, let me get to it so you can see. A mute all except selected button. So I'm gonna so Tamara is if a whole bunch of people could unmute for me, I'm gonna press that. So I've got, let's see, I've got Tamara selected, and now I'm gonna go back over here and I'm going to mute all.
You muted yourself as
and
well.
David muted himself except for I had this feeling he was going to do that.
Now
I
that's
felt so
interesting.
powerful in that moment.
That's interesting.
know.
So right now my OSC machine is a co-host, and I'm on the host machine. So the co-host machine actually muted the host when I pressed that.
Yeah,
no one-
because again, it wasn't that the host was not selected.
No one's safe.
Oh, of course, right. No, wait, I want to try one more thing. Mike, it muted you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I just quickly unmuted because I knew that you muted yourself.
Unmute again. So I'm going to now select myself and Tamara, and I'm going to press it again, and let's just see. So everyone muted except, I'm not muted.
Nope, I'm not muted either.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Beautiful. That works beautifully then. Okay. That's a
love that.
great button to have. I actually kind of wasn't aware of that button. That's a great button. Okay.
Amazing.
Sorry about that. Hey, Tamara, what's up?
Hey, so I had someone mentioned like our webinar plus, and I had an interesting incident that's never happened to me before. So I wanted to get the group's thoughts and prayers. If I had people, so I was doing kind of a training because I'm trying to get more people to just learn this on my team. And so every once in a while I keep sending out hey, I'm going to talk about Zoom. And so I was doing a little demo on Zoom Production Studio with them to try to get them excited about something that is digital. And they're young people and I want them to be more excited than they are. I went to bring everybody into backstage, promoted them to panelists, and one lone guy would not promote to backstage. He would go straight to webinar, and he could not get himself, even when I made him a host or a co-host, he couldn't get himself in and out. There was like no little door for him. Is there a reason that anybody has run into that or has any thoughts? Jason does.
So, could be a couple of things. One, were they on a mobile device versus laptop, desktop?
They were on a desktop, but I don't necessarily trust that their desktops is up to date as I want it to be. Is that, I mean, that's what I assumed that it was, but I didn't know if anybody else had other.
And then you also need to check, are they using Chrome OS?
Okay.
Because
Yes, we can go into that a little bit too. There's some interesting things happening over the last couple of days.
Chrome OS does not behave like, I will say Chrome OS is not a true operating system. And in the world of Zoom, it actually comes in using the Zoom web app, ZW, something like that. There's documentation.
I think I know he's on a Mac OS, but I have had issues with other other Zoom things with Chrome doesn't
And,
work.
and just to clarify what Jason's talking about is this would be especially people that are using Chromebooks.
Right. So I know that's not him, but I also know that is a problem in meetings and craziness
and also, even if they, let's say they have a Windows machine, but they fire up their web browser and they use the Chromium Zoom web plugin in their web browser, that does not behave like the Zoom Workplace app, and that affects the moving around of people. So yeah, I would either look at an old machine, a mobile machine, or they're doing Chrome, some Chrome flavor.
Yeah, I guessed that it was an old machine because I know I've been trying to get them to update. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but I wasn't sure if that was that because I was like, I tried everything. I'm like, oh man, I've never had people can't get to backstage.
Yeah,
But then I hang
Tamara,
with,
you also might want to make sure that if you're concerned about the operating system or machine that they're on, at least try to make sure that they're at least close to being at the latest client too, because there's that could be half of it too.
They got to be version 6. I'd have to look at the documentation. I think the documentation might say is 5.12.
That
but
is very
6
likely.
point something,
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But I had never had that happen. But
the only other thing that I know that it came up in the events world is that sometimes people will click on the wrong link. So they'll go to the participant link versus coming into the backstage link. Right now, again, in the events platform, it's a little different because you'll actually have, I see one every week, join backstage, and you'll click on that and it'll go into backstage. But if they've also signed up to be as a participant,
I sent them the participant link, and I was promoting them to backstage. So that's the link I sent them directly, and it promoted him to It promoted him to the webinar stage. It just didn't. He just bypassed backstage. Yeah, which is that's not the end of the world if I needed him to do that.
No. But, the first place is ask him what operating system does he have. Second question is what Zoom Workplace app version are you using?
Yeah.
And if that isn't up to date, I would do that and then test and see. And then if that doesn't work, then suspect Chrome mobile web browser plugin. That would be the order that I would take it in.
Yep. Alrighty. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the answer to the client is, stand by, click on link. Must be the latest quarterly mandated policy. Okay. So that is currently
6 dot something.
Next enforcement, November 1st, 25, will be 5.17 for Windows and 6.02 for Mac and iOS and Linux. I'm surprised
Windows,
the 5.
they're doing, that just shocked me a little bit.
They must have had a lot of enterprise clients that were like, we don't want to update. We don't like the tabs. We don't like the tab chat. That's what I suspect.
I don't blame them for saying that.
I'm not saying they're wrong, but that was the major change between 5 point something and 6 point something.
Yeah.
I love the tab chat, but no one understands it.
Question for the group. How do you delete tab conversation? So I was in a meeting yesterday, and I'm getting cries for help from different people. Okay, fine, take care of the issue. Boom. Okay, but you still have all those tabs on there. And now if I added multiple people to a tab, like if I'm talking to 2 people at the same time, I could delete that one. But if it's just one-to-one, I didn't see in my 3 dots or anything that I could delete that one and take it off the tote board.
All right.
Jason. Jason, in which section of Team Chat?
No. In the meeting he's talking about.
Meeting.
Oh, in the meeting.
Okay. In meeting chat.
So here's Team Chat, not Team Chat, sorry. Here's Meeting Chat. So I've got 3 up here. I've got an Everyone Chat, I've got a chat with 2 people and a chat with 1 person. So I can, on this one, on the chat with 2 people, I can come over here, click the 3 buttons and delete the chat. On the chat with Jason, with just 1 person, I don't have that. That's interesting. Because that's a private message as opposed to a chat. So if you look up, I don't know
Add a
if this is
temporary
why-
person, then kill. Just move 'em
right?
all.
So this is the 2-person chat, and then if I click on you, it now says private message. So I guess it's not considering it even a chat channel. It's considering a private message, which is why you can't delete it. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I agree with the UI decision or the UX decision, but that's
That might be
that's
the-
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sorry. Yeah. Jason, what again, it's the rules of the private message is still the private message. The grouping is different. That's newer. But if again, it's equivalent. So in the back end, it's still, if you go into, and I don't know 100%, I forgot to look yesterday when I was in breakout rooms, but I believe in breakout rooms, the chat is still old school, meaning that it's everyone or private message. There wasn't a group chat, I believe. I don't know if
in
they've
breakout
changed that or not,
rooms
but
and meeting
breakout
breakout
rooms.
rooms, that could be. Yeah, the particular situation that I had last night was a large meeting. You know, first 20 minutes are a lot of chat messages from individuals. How do I do this? How do I do that? I don't see this button, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Solve those problems. But now when I'm trying to chat to my co-host or one of my presenters, now I have to scroll way over to get to that tab that I actually need. And there's no way to knock out all the other ones that I no longer need because I've already solved those problems. I don't need to talk to those people anymore.
And the other problem too is that if you guys haven't noticed too, is that should that person that you had the message with leaves, it doesn't disappear. It stays there. So that makes it even worse for you, Jason. So if that person came and did leave, that chat is still there. That whole, so again, if you had good 10 or 15 across and 5 of them leave, you still have those 5.
If anyone from Zoom happens to be listening, take the delete function that's available when there's more than one member of the group chat and include that in the tab of the one-to-one chat, please. Just port that code over into that, please.
Maybe there's an Emmy Award winner listening.
Maybe.
They're probably pretty busy. My guess is they have other things on their mind at the
We
moment.
got a list longer than Santa Claus.
I have a maybe Zoom question. I'm not sure if Zoom will help with this, but it's a real question nonetheless. So we have a test kitchen mailing list of 600 plus people. I'm not sure how many of those actually open any emails, but the challenge is that I just got a notification that, and I use Wix. So that's what the website is through. And I've just used Wix for email. They want to charge me $500 for this email service, for the bulk email thing, like MailChimp. It's like MailChimp. It's like all the rest of them. I don't want to pay $500 for that. So what other options do I have? Is there a something in Zoom where
we all register and then you can actually send, there are,
no, not register. Well, could I import the list into contacts into Zoom and then send messages out from there?
at which level, David, would be my question. Meaning meeting, webinar plus, or events?
No.
They all do it a little differently.
No. Just like the account. Like we have all these people And I'm wondering and I don't want to pay for that external email service. Instead of,
How much is
I
the
could find
Zoom
a
mail
cheaper
client?
one. I could just go to like MailChimp or something, but
Yeah, because
something in
Mailchimp won't charge for that small of a
No, they
number.
do. They charge for over 500. That's the problem.
Yeah, they do.
Everyone charges for over 500 people.
What about the Zoom mail client? How much is that a month? That would be cheaper probably. Can you just put them in there and then create
Yeah,
it
that's
as
what I'm
email?
wondering. I don't know. I mean, I've got the mail thing.
Are you a Google person?
Yeah.
He's such a Google person.
That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to ask just to make sure.
Where is mail? I can't even find mail. I'm logged in. And I can't even find the mail tab.
I just looked at the support thing. I don't think I have mail on any of my accounts.
So there's in Google, you can do this for free. Do you like free?
I love free.
Google Groups.
Oh, I should just do it as a group?
Yeah, and it's a discussion group, but tied to this discussion group are your. I'm going back in time. Okay, it's a list serve.
No, I have Google Groups. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So people join the group or are added to the group if you put them in there. The unique ID is the email address, and so then it uses the listserv of the email address so that you can send out your mass communications. Hey, Zoom Kitchen next week, we're going to talk about yada, yada, yada. Now you don't have some of the fancy tracking features like you would with
I never use those.
Okay, so there you go. It'll tell you, you will get notified if it bounces, right? So if the email address is dead, you will get notified, you can clean it up. But you won't get things like open rate, click rate, that kind of stuff.
So should I try that? Let me see. I'm going to create an account on Zoom Mail. Zmail address, ZTK. Well, give me ZTK? ZTK at Zmail. Create. Yeah, I'll show people this while I'm doing it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we now own ZTK at Zmail. It's actually a great email address. All right, so now what do I do? Hold on a second. Devices and what? Hello. Devices and activity. Advanced encryption. Okay. New calendar tab. Oh, that's new. Okay. Secure my Zoom mail service. Oh, okay. Well, probably shouldn't have had that on screen. Okay. Right. Next.
Sorry, Dave, didn't get.
That's all right. It's just a backup key anyway. Okay.
The resolution's fuzzy for what it's worth. I can't see it on my end.
Good. Perfect. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, actually, your whole screen right now, David, is out of focus for some reason.
Perfect. It's a security feature.
Right. It's a feature, not a flaw. So I wonder, like, how do you put contacts in? I'm not entirely sure how to do that.
Is there an import function?
Yeah.
The question is it a group import?
Settings, compose and reply, senders management, contacts, my contacts, add contact. Okay, well, I'm not doing this for 600 people. There's got to be like an import or something, no? No, there isn't. All right, I'll have to play.
Be able to do a CSV export of the contact list
That's what I have. I wonder, you think I could just
and then import that?
Yeah, no, I have that right here actually. Yeah, that didn't work though.
Check the documentation.
And David, you are a Gmail person, right? Corporation wise, you use the G Suite stuff.
Yeah, but I just created this as his email account. So this right now is separate from any Gmail anything. I didn't add anything. After the email templates, senders management. Huh. Okay. So I have to figure out how do you add, maybe there's something here. Wait a second. View contact. I want to add a contact, but here we go. Import contacts from third party. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. No. No, I just want to import. That's all I'd like to do, please. Just import profile, configure calendar and contact service. Okay, that's not really helpful. Calendar mail. This domain has been forced to be encrypted. What was it? Yes. Okay, I don't know what I just did, but that's, well, I don't know how to add contacts in bulk, which is a little frustrating. So it may be Google Groups. Although I'd love to be able to use Zmail just because, or something from Zoom.
Is it, let's see, Zmail obviously would use your contacts. So if you went into contacts within the Workplace app, could you then
Yeah, this is where I
import contacts to contacts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in. So there's invite new contact, create a personal contact, import contacts from a third party. So I don't want to do that because that's going to do Gmail or something.
No, import from a third party. You might have a CSV option.
No, it didn't. That's what I clicked on before. And what it does is it brings you back here, and it gives you these three options.
I can recognize the icons, but I couldn't tell you what the text said.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure why it's a crummy resolution. I apologize.
Security feature.
Interesting. All right. I don't know why. That's a shame that there isn't a simple CSV upload. And
Maybe there is. Check the documentation.
Yeah, I'll have to go looking for it.
Okay.
Is it okay for me to ask you?
Oh
asking you a
yeah, I'm
question,
sorry,
Dave?
Tony.
No, it wasn't a rush, but I wanted to make sure I got it in before you left. So for the video production professionals, this is probably gonna maybe be a little irritating, but I had an occasion to I've been paying for the pro account for about 3.5 years, and I really have not been getting anything out of it other than using it to play with. And so I've been playing with it. So one of the questions that I wanted to ask David is that when I make the decision to come back to it, should I bypass the pro and just go to the business? Or should I get the should I get the pro and then get sessions? That was one question that I wanted to ask. The other question that I wanted to ask is that I use one laptop that I do all of the House of Worship recordings on. And I use my Zoom free account, separate account from the account that I'm talking about right now, for all of the recordings for the House of Worship, Thursday night and Sunday. And I do the recordings locally. But when I I got the notice that when I had canceled the pro account, that I had 30 days to download the existing recordings or they would be deleted. My question is, are they there because of the pro account that I had? So the recordings are apparently in the cloud and the local machine.
You can't record to the cloud unless you pay for an account. Free accounts can't record to the cloud.
So going forward, the recordings would only be on the local machine.
If you don't pay for a pro account or higher, you can't record to the cloud.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Tony?
Yes. I'm muted. Yes, that makes sense.
And with regard to the pro or business, so are you, remind me, is it just, is your goal to get access to the liminal apps? Is that what you're going for?
And again, that's another, playtime situation. Based on what so Conversation with Tony Mobley has a separate entity all in all of itself in terms of Zoom. So that is not impacted in any way. I just had a pro account because I essentially wanted to be able to mirror the account that the church has so that I could invest in utilizing all of the features of Zoom so that I could make sure that we were proactive in the Zoom account. But essentially, it has been, for all intents and purposes, really sitting. If you look at the recordings that I have made, that, basically a minute or less promo recordings that I've done in Zoom for promotion of Conversation with Tony Mobley. And that is really, I don't need, the pro account to do that. I can do that with a free account. And so
So what are you actually, what's your goal? What are you trying to get? Are you trying to get the like, do you need the 300 seats or do you need the liminal stuff? Because that really tells you, whether you want the business or if you want sessions. I mean, a business account doesn't give you access to liminal, and sessions account doesn't give you 300 seats.
Webinar Plus.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. Webinar Plus. Right.
Yes, I can help honest when you want to talk about Webinar Plus. Sorry.
Okay. So I have a decision to make. That's essentially what I'm hearing. So thank you for that. And yeah, because I at this point I can't justify, to be honest, I can't justify either. I don't have a need for 300 at this time.
How about the pay per, Tony? How about the pay per seat function instead of 300? It's a hidden option. You can find it, and that's a lower cost significantly. I think it's, I don't want to quote a number.
Well, it's $100 a year. You mean the new Webinar Plus thing?
Yeah.
Right. It's $100 a year, and that gives you the 1080p plus the liminal apps, basically.
Plus any of the Webinar Plus functionality within those 100. Again, only allowing 100 tickets. Now your tickets, you're not where you're doing the 300. That could be 300 in variation. Where PPA is pay per attendee. I'm going to do a Ray Howard for a few seconds now. Pay per attendee, which is basically, it is a ticket-based system. So once your 100 tickets are gone, then they're gone.
Until the next billing cycle.
Correct. And in this case, it would be per year for you, Tony, if you did it that way.
So if I did the Webinar Plus, I wouldn't need the pro account. I could do that by itself. But
again, they give you different things.
Right.
First of all, you have to have a pro account in order to have a Webinar Plus account. You can't.
There are no add-ons to a basic.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You have to have a minimum, at least a pro account to have a Webinar Plus license.
Okay.
Don't think of Webinar Plus as an account. because it's not. It's a
Right.
license that
It's an add-on.
added to your pro. Yeah, it's an add-on to your pro account.
You have to have at least a pro account, and then you can add on a la carte, or you can go from pro to business and maybe add on some things. You actually have less options, I think, in a la carte under business than you do with pro.
I think that's because a lot of that stuff is included. No.
I'd have to go back and look at. There's a couple of things that I remember, like, oh, you can't get that under business, but I'd have to go back because it's been a while since I've looked at it.
Okay. Okay, you guys have given me a lot to think about. I appreciate your time.
Well, what's the main problem you're trying to solve? Is having a storage space for people to watch these recordings? Or you said no one's watching your recordings? I missed that part.
No. What's going on is that over the last almost 5 years, I have been doing all of the recordings for the House of Worship, and I noticed that when I got the notice that I had canceled to the pro account, I got this notice that all of the recordings are going to be deleted from the Zoom cloud, and it just, I know that they're on the local machine, but I was concerned if that was going to impact the recordings going in the future.
Well, the recordings in the cloud are tied to the user ID. So if the user ID is removed, then the cloud recordings tied to that user ID would be removed. But what difference does it make if no one is watching them through the cloud? Where are your viewers actually watching these 5 years of recording? Or are you just storing them for archival purposes?
I'm just storing them. They're not being watched anymore. Anything of any substance is put on YouTube, and quite frankly, these recordings are of the complete service. What's being put to YouTube is actually only the sermon, and so really
the music gets cut off by YouTube.
Right. So all of the music and all of that is on the full recordings, and I don't really need them in the cloud. And at this point, I really don't need them on my machine taking up space either. But I was just kind of trying to figure out if it was going to. I'm not actually going to be recording Sunday because I'm going to be participating in the 2000 of office hours on Sunday. But I just didn't want to. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to impact going forward.
Yeah.
The way in which I changed my account from the.
So you're using one of the most expensive storage systems on the planet, according to Ray Harwood. And if you go over to Ray Harwood's site at Good Clicks, he's actually got a great table that breaks out the cost for storage space. So if you're just archiving it, there are other options where you can, you grab your recordings from the Zoom cloud and you plop them on some other storage that you're, paying little to nothing for. And if you want to keep 5 years, great. If you only want to keep a year, great, whatever. But at least you're not paying the rate. And the reason why Zoom charges so much is because it's not just the storage, it's the player that's attached to the storage, right? You can't do translation and multiple views and all the things that you can do in the Zoom player. You can't do that in Dropbox Relay or some of these other ones. So that's the price of Zoom. They're charging you for the super duper web player. If you're not using that, store it somewhere else.
Okay. I'm thinking that I'll just move everything over to an external hard drive, and that way it'll save space on the laptop anyway.
Tony, I would suggest speaking to Zoom companion guy, Chris. He does all the companion work.
Jason. Oh,
talking-
James.
Yes. Sorry, James. Sorry, James. I was just talking to James. He helps me build a custom little applet thing that I can put in dates, and it will go into Zoom and download all of those old recordings for me, and I don't have to do anything. And so I downloaded 3 years worth of recordings, and I just have them sitting on a hard drive now, so I don't have to pay for Justin James. So I don't have to pay for storage. So I'd reach out to Justin, see if he can't help you.
Okay. Is he part of the Zoom team or is he part of Zoom Test Kit?
He's part of our team.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can find him, I think, on our Discord.
Yeah, he is definitely.
Okay.
He
Thank
built
you.
he built the companion plugin for Zoom OSC. That's his thing. Very good, and he's very patient. He taught me how to do it, so he's very patient.
He's so patient.
So, David, while you were looking there, I did put in chat for you a suggestion that I found from our friends at Google Gemini, your favorite AI. No, I'm kidding. Did you see that there?
You mean for an email service? So
Yeah.
I actually found something in Zoom called personal contacts. And in personal contacts, there is an upload. There's a CSV upload. So here, I'll bring this up. So there's all this stuff down here, but then up here there's personal contacts. I don't entirely know what this is going to do, but then there's import from CSV file. Problem is the CSV file that I have for us is a little bit of a disaster. And
So download, so again, download that where it says download CSV sample.
no, I
and
know, but
and then
I don't even
you
need
need
that.
the user template.
Right, but you don't even need that. But I just the name and the email are required, and we don't. I don't. There are a few hundred of our contacts don't have names, so I'm weeding them all out, and
ChatGPT does Excel now. Maybe it can help you.
it might be able to help me. Yeah. I'm also, while I'm doing this, going to look for duplicates. In any case, so I'm going to play with that. And then what did you put in the chat? What did you
I
find?
put a company that actually is specializes for people that are like creators on YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That this is the service that is all they have. That is all they do, is they just allow you to send out emails.
So I'm just saying that I, again, missed this because I was in my chat window on the one of the other chats that I just created.
And I made sure that I put it in the everyone chat for everyone to see.
Kit.com/pricing. I know.
Yeah.
I know Kit.
Yeah, that's the new name. That's the new name. They used to be called something else.
Really?
Yeah.
Kit.
And again,
up to 10,000 subscribers.
yeah.
One email sequence per month, I guess. Interesting. All right, I'll take a look.
It was a Gemini suggestion.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely.
I put in the criteria of us having the 600, and I put in the criteria of free, and I put in the criteria of what else did I put as criteria? The we currently have 600 email addresses that we are sending to, and that was that. The other one that did come up was also Mailer Lite. That was another one. That one does have a free plan up to 1,000 subscribers and 12,000 emails per month. The Kit one, where's the Kit one? Scroll. The Kit one free plan allows up to 10,000 subscribers with unlimited email sending. Per month.
Alrighty.
Can
And it
I
looks like
argue
there's
it?
affiliations with Little John and some other YouTube and food bloggers that they support. Hesmuth, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been based on what Jason has shared with me. I'm trying to run this report, and I'm get thoroughly confused. I wonder if I could share my screen and show what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Here we go. Can see that?
Yep.
So I don't know about the timing because I mean these timestamps we didn't start 6:29 a.m. It's kind of 2 hours behind, so it's probably a universal time issue.
You can kind of ignore those. That depends one
Yeah.
on the settings that you have in the report, and then that's also the time that the host logged in. That's not the scheduled start time.
Right. So I have these. These I'm just gonna ignore. This is my main meeting, and what I'm struggling with is if I can just expand that a bit more. Here we go. So you have this export option where you can say export the list with features used and export list with participant details. And here you showed earlier about selecting the font, and I apply that. But here, if you say export list with features used, it starts exporting
The
one of
three.
these
Mm-hmm.
instead of this one.
Right. In order to export the one, you have to click on the blue 599, and you would have no way of knowing that.
So if I click here,
It's in the documentation. You do have a way of knowing it.
Well, I mean, yes, but I mean, it's not obvious right there on the screen, is what I meant to
Yeah.
say.
now
But
how
that'll
do
give you
I?
which.
It's
And
not expect. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
And then if you export, if you use this blue button, export
Mhm.
to CSV, and then it'll open up. I'm assuming you're using Excel. It'll open it up in Excel, and it'll show you what columns it pulled over.
But it's not pulling the columns I want because when I ran one of these, it did. But I think some. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so
This
check
column
those
management.
boxes, and then you have to so check the ones that you want to see.
Yeah, so I added video on and
Okay.
poll, for
Okay.
example. And then when I say apply,
and now you have to hit the search again to refresh this list. Okay, because your criteria has changed, and the meetings that you have down below is old data. So you have to hit the blue search button again to pull it with the fresh data. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And if you have the particular meeting ID, that's even more fantastic because then it'll zero in on.
So now all my meetings are gone. Well, the list is gone. I have the correct date and I have meetings.
Okay. So let's take the telephone usage and participant ID out of the equation.
Yeah.
And then let's hit search. And then what we'll do is we'll grab that meeting ID that you want to see.
They're the same meeting ID.
Okay. So I would just grab that 879 number.
This one.
And then no, the meeting ID number, the 8798805 to the left.
This one, yeah.
Yes. And the date in particular that you're interested in is the 11th. Is that the one?
They're all the same date.
Okay. So yeah, grab that meeting ID and copy it, and then add that to go back up to the search with that meeting ID. Okay. Yeah. And then you're gonna plop in that meeting ID on the right hand side where it says search by topic or ID. You'll plop in that meeting ID. To the left, check the features that you want to see.
So let's say video on once.
Sure. Let's
and
just
maybe
start with
poll.
that. Okay,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
poll if, yeah, let's just start with video. So you hit apply,
Uh-huh.
and now you hit the blue search button. Got to hit that blue search button because you haven't applied the, and then I didn't
Export.
see if, yeah, I didn't see if you'd hit the blue search button, but assuming that you did, and
Oh,
this pulled
sorry,
down a
sorry.
fresh report.
No, I did not. So I
Okay,
just go search again.
there
Is
you
that
go.
correct?
Yep. And that way you're ensuring that you're pulling down a fresh report based off of the criteria that you just entered.
Okay,
Because
got
it's
you.
not a live list. It pulls once and it
Yes,
sits static. You change your criteria and you have to hit that search button, which is
got
essentially a
you.
refresh
Got
to,
you.
yeah,
So now I can do that.
correct. And then when you
And
export it to CSV in
all
Excel,
right.
if that data exists, it should appear there.
Okay. So it's a long list. So there we go. So I'm just gonna save that as O3. And now if I come up here and go to my desktop, scratch, and there's the list. Technically, it should be there, right?
If it was captured in the meeting itself, then it
Yeah.
should be in this CSV.
Okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm taking some time here.
Yeah, that's all right. The delimiters. I don't have this issue with the delimiters and having to go through the import wizard. Is that because you're using Office on Mac?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Start time, date time.
So you've got name, email, duration, guest, and no other activity data.
So it doesn't bring up that camera one that we chose as a
Nope,
column.
it did not.
Even though there may be no data, I expect it to at least present a column.
Yeah, let me run a test on my end because I've got meetings with camera ons and offs. So that, let me get back over to there and I'll just run a test on my end back here, and if I am successful, I will share with you what I did.
Thank you. I've learned something about reports. It's been fascinating.
Now, if you use something like Zapier, or if Lord Zoom were on, he would tell you he could build an app for that. Something that uses the API calls, you can actually generate reports that are much more than what the reporting feature within the Zoom web app allows. The data is there, but when you go in through the Zoom web app and hit report, it's not always accessible that way, but through the API. So if you use Zapier, you can tie the accounts together and all the APIs are available in Zapier, and you could say, I want to see this, 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 and this, and I want you to export it to Excel, and then you can slice and dice it in Excel.
That's awesome.
That's something that I used quite a bit because, like you, Hasmukh, you have clients that asks for, when did people sign on? How long did they stay on? Did they respond to the poll? What answer did they choose? Did they do this? Did they do that? Blah, blah, blah. And you can't always get those informations from Zoom, especially if you're using meetings.
Well, these folks, what they what they plan to do over time is revisit the store, especially if it's a poor performing store, and say, okay, your team hardly attended any of our events. They haven't been looking at any of our training or education videos. So suddenly having this event, the data that comes out of it, they're finding it extremely useful.
And, there's, again, this is when you consult with the client. Okay, so a poor performing store, you're assuming it's because the salespeople aren't doing their job. Okay. They didn't attend the trainings, so they don't have the up-to-date knowledge. All right, if they did attend the trainings, are you sure that they have the up-to-date knowledge? Just because they attended didn't mean that they learned anything. And if they learned something, doesn't mean that they actually applied it. So you got to fill those gaps in between. Okay, so who is the manager of the salespeople that's responsible for that? And are they coming in and now saying, okay, John, we see here you didn't attend the training. Were you aware of XYZ? And then you try to fill the gaps that way. That's the only way you're going to get that performance measurement.
Yeah.
But at least you've got participation activity measurements.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing started off, we produce a lot of training videos for them and marketing videos. And we say, we don't mind this business, but how the heck do you know that people are actually benefiting from these videos? And what's your measure? And they didn't have an answer. So I said, why don't you get them online for an hour and ask them some questions and interrogate their knowledge or their service performance? And what I really, this time they did it, I said, play at least one of the educational videos a week beforehand, send it to them by WhatsApp, which is very popular, yeah? And we play it again in the event itself, and then put up a quiz, and let's see what the knowledge retention has been. So they're beginning to understand the power of online, I don't want to call it management, but outreach.
Mm-hmm. Right. And basic management technique, reward the good, don't just punish the bad. Because the good you want more of the good performers to continue to perform good. And the bad performers, they're either going to raise their game up to the level of acceptable mediocrity, or you get rid of them in the organization. But if you're spending a lot of time hand-holding the poor performers, then you're not rewarding the excellent performers, and they're going to quit and leave and go somewhere else where they're appreciated.
Well, based on a Kahoots game, they awarded 5 people with very expensive handsets as a reward.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. So here I got the report to work. Oh, let me put wrap text on. Okay. So I picked a few features, okay, in that drop down list, and you could see we've got them here, right? Here's your video on. I also chose screen sharing and remote control and closed captioning.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did I get here? Okay. So no, I don't want to save. Let me make sure I don't have Excel open anywhere else so that it doesn't pull from cache. Okay. So here I'm in my meeting. I went to reports, search criteria. Okay. I grabbed the meeting number that has folks in there. I populated that up on the right-hand side like we did earlier. I choose some features. We'll pick, sure. We'll pick those. And here, export list with features used. Now, here's the thing. The list, because I only have one meeting in this list, then therefore I will see all the features used in that meeting. If I have 5 meetings list, okay, then export the list with features used might give me garbage. Right? So that was my methodology there. Okay, so we export it. It's going to give me a little spinning wheel up here. And when it's done cooking, it's going to open up an Excel window. Okay, it's done cooking. And so here it is, and I'll just turn on word wrap here so we can actually read the column headers.
So my problem was that list had 4 meetings, with one of them was the actual meeting. And when you run that report, it chose the very first one and not the one, because the criteria that you have when you choose that and you have 4 reports or 4 meetings, let's say even the same day with the same meeting ID, I was trying to figure out how do I get rid of them from that list so that I have only the one main meeting. So I tried to do exactly what you did, but it ran the report on the very first meeting with one participant.
So what happens if you delete that one recurrence of the meeting that I'm assuming it was just a test meeting since it only had one
Yeah.
person?
So is there a delete option for that? Can one remove
Assuming that it
from the
has the
report?
same meeting ID, it's a recurrence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the meeting,
I think we just launched a meeting for test purposes using the same meeting ID, and that's why I
yeah.
have those 3 or 4 reports.
Okay, so if we did, let me get over to, okay. This is what I'm thinking, but I would have to test to see if it actually works this way, okay? So I go into my meetings on the left-hand side. I pulled up a meeting that has recurrences, okay, which is what yours had.
Okay.
Then I go to the one that I don't want anymore.
Got you. Yeah, got you.
I wonder if
Gotcha.
that would work.
Sure. I'll try that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a reporting geek. I love that stuff.
That's great, Jason. I just wanted to add in there that you brought up Lord Zoom's comment, and my brain was thinking about it. And he did tell me that he wasn't looking at Xavier. Xavier, he was looking at end to end, and N8N, N8N
Okay.
instead. Do the integration stuff instead.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I will check that out.
Yeah, for everybody on YouTube, I will put that link into N8N. It's similar to Xavier, but it's got a lot more interactivity, and I believe there's a lot more Zoom integration into it. I'm not 100% on that. I would have to double check that.
And Hasmuk, you have Zoom webinars, is that right? No,
It's meetings.
it's just meetings. Okay.
Yeah.
Just meetings, but you're treating it as if it is a webinar, though, Hasma.
Yeah, but even Zoom does the reporting feature different in meetings than it does webinars.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I would think that it's meetings would be the lowest. Then you have webinar, more webinar plus, even more events, ultimate, everything, right? So,
well, and I'm looking to see if I can pull up an example that I could share with you all. But when you go in through the web portal and you go to reports, just like you do with meetings, but instead you're pulling down a webinar, you have so many more things that are available to you, and even by default that are thrown into the CSV. And they're captured in meetings, they're just not included in the report. The data is there, it's embedded in the meeting ID, it's just not available in the meeting report web console. But it's there.
go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, Hasmik, are you the admin of this web account?
Yeah.
So there's reports that might be more powerful if you log in as an admin instead of your own self-user account. You can get other information from there too.
Yeah. What I shared my screen, it was in my admin account.
Okay, but when I log into my account, I'm an admin, but there's my personal section and then there's the admin section. In my personal section, I have my own reports. in the admin section, I can get reports about every meeting, even if it's one of my meetings, and you might want to see if there's any differences in what's available to you there.
All right. Good.
That's a good point, Frank. All right, Jason, over to you.
Yeah, just a visual of what Frank's talking about here. That's all. And you can do it for your entire account usage, or you can dial in on a user. So if you just wanted to see how many times webinar host number 2 did such and such.
Yeah, but you can also get the meeting ID and search for it, even if it happens to be your own meeting, through the admin section and get reports there too.
David, I must say, Zoom Test Kitchen has been like a 5-course meal with dessert on top of it.
Well said.
Thank you, Jason. Huge thank you. I'm sitting over here fighting with Google Groups, which doesn't allow you to upload a CSV. You have to do it. You have to upload manually.
Well,
Unless
look
you're
for
doing
the
it wrong.
workaround. Yeah, look for the workaround for what do they call it? OD, open
No.
document.
You have to use a GSC.
Are you talking about the ODT, Jason?
That's it.
That's ODT is the format. Yeah. Open document text.
There we go. So you can open it, and you can open the CSV in Excel, save it as the open document text, and then Google can read that.
no, but there's no there. If you don't have a workplace account, which I do, I'm just not sure I want to do this on my workplace account. The only way is there is no upload at all. There's only manual entry. So
Bummer.
what you can do is you can go into admin, and then I could add everyone as members of my org, which I really don't want to do. That's the problem.
Can you create a suborg?
I don't know. See, I'd be creating them. I'd be adding them all as users. I think I'd be adding them all as users. I don't want to do that.
Something else that you might consider, because I've done this on the free account for Google Groups, is once you create the group, essentially the mailing list, there's a subscribe link, and which you can see as the admin. And so then you just email blast everyone that's on the current list and Wix or whatever you're using, and saying, hey, annual housekeeping, if you want to continue receiving these emails, subscribe. And then they just self-enter their data, and you don't have to do it. You move the work over to them.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, David, that is powerful there too. And what you might want to do is we could always do that as a posting in Discord as well. And it actually will get more people from Discord that aren't on there to be on there, and vice versa.
I mean, frankly, I'd rather just have people in Discord, but I mean, we send one email a week, and it's the same email with just, the image in it and the links. Well, all right. So work in progress. Mike, my friend,
sir?
the take the wheel. The ship is yours. The bridge
Thank
is
you, sir.
yours. The bridge, I should say, is yours.
All right. And I'll make you co-host before you disappear. I was giving you.
Thank you, but I'm disappearing.
Have a good weekend, David.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Take care, Dave.
Bye.
All right. So Jason, we should talk more about, and I think Frank probably knows about this too, because if we're all managing different systems, I, as an admin, saw the status bulletin about Chrome 140.
Yeah. I saw that it was fixed, though.
You did?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did get
I
an
did not
update
catch
that it
that.
was fixed.
Okay.
So for Chrome, it was web browsers, right? Not Chrome OS.
Correct.
It was Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you use
It was,
Chrome as your
yes.
web browser, regardless of your operating system, and you recently upgraded to Chrome 140, and then you experienced no audio in your meetings or webinars. As an attendee, I think is specifically what the bulletin said. At least an attendee. I don't recall if it was host, co-host, but at least as an attendee, no audio for you. So they worked diligently on it, and yeah, last night in the middle of the night there was an update that said, okay, it's been fixed. Chrome users need to totally restart Chrome, so that I guess it pulls down the latest little patch or whatever for that.
Right. Yeah. So let me go one step further, just for everybody's sake. Jason is correct that this definitely does affect Google Chrome, but this also affects any Chromium based browser. So what does that mean now? So anybody on the Windows platform, if you use Edge, you're affected. So Edge, Chrome, Google Chrome. So anything that uses the back end of Chromium and is using the code that is in number 140, which Edge is pretty close to being, Edge is pretty close in the regards of how many they are behind. Google Chrome is, it's usually the leading edge. 140 actually came out. I actually wrote this down and actually I was talking to John Drinkwater about this too, because this affects the developer world as well. Because as Frank put it, this affected the web SDK and the video SDKs. So not only was this bad, and again, because we all in the developer world actually know that Zoom Workplace is actually really a browser in disguise using WebKit. And guess what WebKit belongs to? Chromium. Ta-da! Look at that. Who knew? Well, again, being in the developer world, as I am more and more digging in there further, I'm starting to see that. And so, yes, that officially broke at that end too. So it was breaking certain apps that were using the audio and video portions of it. So this also affected, and John, if you were here, you double check this with me. This should have also been affecting because of it was audio, the new RTMS functionality that is also available now to developers to make their apps. So yeah, so this actually goes back. So 140 actually came into existence from Chrome September 2nd. So this has been lingering for 10 days now. So it's good to hear that they actually fixed it.
Yeah,
As of
and I'm going through my inbox and deleted box to make sure that I can find the message that says yeah, resolved. Okay, and oh no, I'll look for it. I've got a ton of stuff in here, but yeah, I remember seeing it. I'm just going to verify. And because it uses, yeah, thanks Frank for popping that in there. So the Zoom web app. So if you just come into Zoom through the Zoom web app, you're not signing in through the Workplace app. And then the video SDK and audio SDK. If you're using another event platform, like we'll take for example Hoova, Hopin, both of those I know. You build your event and you can bring in Zoom meetings or Zoom webinars. You could bring in a WebEx, you could bring in a Blue Jeans, blah blah blah. But your skin is Hopin or Hoova, okay, and you're doing Zoom. You're pulling in Web SDK, and so you're wondering why a certain set of your people in your Hoova meeting can't hear anything. Might be because they're using Chromium 140.
Correct. And so again, that was based, yeah, correct. So not only the web SDK, but of course the video SDK. So again, the video SDK will be more, the web SDK is more command-based stuff within the interface, but the video SDK would be where this was affected, I would say almost 100%, because of the fact of the video SDK, you can do calls for video and audio through the video SDK. That's one of its main purposes in life in the Zoom universe.
But it's resolved.
That's good. But I did not check. So that must have been earlier today. I guess it was earlier today. But yeah, I did not have a chance to check to see if that was fixed. But yeah, that has been a bit of a thorn.
Oh,
in
there
the
were a
development.
lot of those messages coming through yesterday, I think. I don't know, all the days are blending together. But yeah, it was earlier this week where it was just message after message, like
I got-
every hour.
I got the resolved message at, it was identified at 7:52 Eastern Standard Time. And then it was still identified. Anyways, keep going. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm,
no
I'm
problem.
looking
Monitoring.
to. And
Monitoring usually means it's fixed, and that was at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
okay.
Yesterday, last night.
Last night.
Okay, that's good. I know that in the developer world, it's been in the forums from earlier this week. So it's good that it's actually it was made up the chain.
So,
So-
monitoring means they think they fixed it. Sometimes when they monitor stuff, they realize they haven't fixed it and they'll issue a new bulletin. But usually when
Yeah.
they say monitoring, they're pretty certain they've fixed it. But
Yeah,
they're
and
still
that-
watching it just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
they
the-
will-
That's what
Yeah.
the email says. Monitoring. A fix has been implemented. Users need to restart their Chrome browser to apply the fix. 6:09 Pacific.
Restart my browser and lose my 400 tabs? What are you, crazy?
And sign in again? Yep.
You know how many people don't want to do that? They'd rather have a broken Zoom experience than restart their browser.
or a broken Chrome.
Why is my
Chrome
computer so slow?
Yes. So here's the perfect one that my IT department deal with all the time. And they keep telling me, they said, Mike, I don't know where's salespeople. Yes, I'll pick on my salespeople. Because usually it's the salespeople that'll go, but all of a sudden my, insert here is not working in Chrome. And it's like, well, did it tell you that you should be updating? Yeah. Usually it's two sentences, or usually it's all in one sentence that my IT team will usually say, help about. Go to help about.
Help about.
And then do what it says.
That's a real Canadian term. Help about.
No, I didn't say help a boot. I said help about.
No, but to put the two words together.
Yeah. Well, again, if you say it enough to the people, then it actually will stick.
Right.
They say, yeah.
I like it.
Do the help about first. Then if it doesn't work, then let us know.
In the southern United States, we'd say go to help and then click on about. And
click on about,
and then look
wait for the restart button.
Yeah.
That restart button out there. Yeah, I got it.
And it takes too long, and then by then people have already forgotten what you said. So
yeah,
reboot.
Then they'll go, what should be happening now?
Right. And for you Catholic Windows users out there, you repent, reflect, and reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when in doubt.
All right, I'm going to say goodbye. But I might listen to you while I go on my phone. But there's lots of new stuff. Well, not lots, but there's new stuff coming Monday, right?
Okay.
I left you a
Right.
link to the release notes.
Yeah, the release notes coming up.
Some of them are interesting.
Yeah, and again, rumor has it that next Friday afternoon. Well, it's not a rumor; it's actual fact. I know that Josh from the events team is actually having a post Zoomtopia event to talk about what's going to be talked about on Wednesday.
Cool.
So
Zoomtopia.
I know
What day
things
is
are
that?
brewing.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
the
this is
17th.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's in my calendar. I just couldn't remember which day it was.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
the 17th.
And I did get an update today that the from the ones that I've already scheduled for next week that there was a modification done today. So I have to now go in and figure out.
Did you pick your tracks
Good or bad?
for the?
I did,
haven't.
and I'm all over the place because because the reasoning is that I wanted to make sure that it was back to back to back because they're forcing it to be back to back to back to back to back.
Right.
And if you actually deviate from one or the other, that chances are you won't find anything. So what I keyed in on was both of Josh's webinars, and then I sort of and the keynote. So those are the main three that I was going after, and then there was a couple others, and then that filled it out because it's only 4 hours.
So I'm gonna say that we missed a great opportunity.
We did.
We should, during the time that David was here, we should have made predictions. We should always do predictions about Zoomtopia, the Zoom Test Kitchen before Zoomtopia. What do you think's coming out? What do you think's gonna be the new buzz? And we didn't do it. So next year, remember to do predictions.
All right. And if Lord Zoom's listening, I think we're doing a Zoomtopia prediction show on Tuesday. I'll have to double check that.
I'm sure most of it'll be related to AI. New AI services and features.
Yes. I do know that I think Andy let this into the Discord, but that there is Zoom ISO in the cloud being released right now at IBC.
Yeah.
So that is officially released.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I raised that at work this week. That and the cloud production
studio in the cloud. Yeah.
In the cloud, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. John and I did that actually all this week on our with the Tuesday show. We did that on Tuesday as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if the graphics toolkit and the what's the other one? The tiles. Wouldn't be surprised if everything ends up in the cloud.
Yeah, it would just make things a lot more.
Well, it takes all the burden off your local hardware, right?
Yes, and bringing all the raw feeds down to your system too. Yes.
It'd be interesting to combine all those into some mega tool.
Well, in theory, the graphic toolkit could easily be incorporated into Production Studio. Mm-hmm. For sure.
And should be.
And should be, yes.
But I mean, Andy could say there's a million reasons not to do it from a coding perspective. I have no idea, right?
Right. Exactly. But again, it's considering that it is a lot of CSS based and HTML based content that will be a layer on top. It would be nice.
Maybe we'll get some version 2, Cloud Studio version 2, or Tiles 2 or something. Who knows, right?
Yeah. Well, Hazmat, do you know? Have you got some?
He knows everything.
No.
Hazmat has.
He's from the future. He's 17 hours in front of us.
I used graphics tool with that same production this week. So I normally don't switch on chat, but what I did is I switched on chat as people were joining the meeting, and I used the graphics toolkit to get the floating chats into the program. And basically people were asked to note which store or which area they are from. And there was so much excitement around that. So, and then we switched off the chat as soon as the meeting began. But I'm full of puzzles this evening. A quick question.
Of course.
In the Zoom app itself, the workplace app, I'm kind of using one of my accounts, my sort of private account. And when I joined this meeting, I saw I joined as MobiLearn. I said, that's very strange because my Zoom client that I'm joining with says MobiLearn. I mean, my personal account, Hashmuket Gadget.
Right.
Does that depend on which portal you were logged in or which portal you were last logged in?
Jason, you want to try that one first? I've got a few thoughts, but if you want to try that one, Jason, first, go for it.
It should pull. Let's see here. I'm looking on the screen to verify here.
Yeah.
So
let's see. I'm in a meeting. Okay, I'm going to try to sign. I'm going to try to sign out.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Jason
I
will
think
be
that's what
right
I'm gonna
back.
do. No, I'm not going to sign out of the meeting. What I'm going to try to do is go into my Zoom Workplace app, which I have that open in front of me. click on my little icon up there in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to sign out of the what we used to call the desktop client, now called the Zoom Workplace app. I'm hoping I stay in the meeting. And we'll see. Okay, I get a
And
spinning
3,
wheel,
and 2, and 1, and you're still here.
and I'm still here. Okay,
You're still here.
I'm still here. So now, let's see what my workplace app says. Great, I'm signed out. Cool. Okay, so let me sign in as something else.
Okay, as Jason is doing that, I'll give my brief thought, Hasmuth, that it might be related to the link that you clicked on to come to the meeting.
Mm,
And I'll throw
uh,
that out there, and Jason continue.
no.
The permissions could be embedded in there. Yes.
Right.
Let me.
So on my workplace app on the desktop, I'm signed into 3 accounts. But the active account icon in the workplace app itself is showing that I'm using my personal account.
Right. So here's another thought too, is that are you clicking within the browser to come into
No, I have a
meeting?
link. I have a link that I save to join the meeting. So that's where
And
I'm clicking.
what are you clicking? Yeah, but what is clicking on that link? Because again, it's
I
still
need to
gonna hook
check
up,
that.
it's still
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
it's still gonna put you into a browser. And then that browser is gonna then kick into the client so that the client
yes.
kicks up, right? So it
Mhm.
depends on the browser that you're going to. So in the
Correct,
Windows world,
correct.
so in the Windows
Correct.
world, we by default have Edge, right? But
Yeah,
many of us have also done
yeah,
Chrome and Firefox, right?
yeah.
So in theory, you could actually be logged in Edge to one Zoom account, Chrome another one, and Firefox as another one, right?
Mhm,
But Windows, and again, I'm speaking for Windows, whatever
mhm.
your default browser is, and if you click in just another program and you click on that link, and it should go to your default browser, and then in whatever account that default
Correct,
browser is logged
correct.
into, it tried
I
to
think
get
that
you into the meeting.
so it depends on the account you logged into your browser portal. And I think
If
that's
you
where it fetches. Yeah.
if you did it that way,
Mm-hmm.
so what I just tried to experiment with was in the desktop client, the Zoom Workplace app.
Mm-hmm.
I signed out as the person that is attending this meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and then and I was able to stay in this meeting, and then I signed in as another me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
able to join the Zoom Test Kitchen
Right.
because I'm currently
Right.
in a meeting.
Okay.
If I were, it would obviously show up as me. And
Got
what's
you.
interesting, actually, let me look at the participants panel because it says, let me see if y'all can see that. Give me a second here.
Our participants panel, John or Jason? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can see my mouse. Okay. So in the upper right hand corner, if I click on the user icon that's associated with the account I just signed into my desktop app, it says that I am presenting, which I am screen sharing into this meeting. However, the ID that I signed into this meeting with is different than this ID that you're seeing here on the screen. So I think this presenting is something's not talking, because technically this account is not presenting. It's my other account that is presenting, because when I
Right, but
look in this participants panel, it's the old me that's still in this meeting, not this user.
right, but as far as the workplace app is or workplace client is concerned, Jason, is that even though you logged yourself out and in again, you that the actual connection of the meeting is that user still. So as far as
it
the
didn't
client,
pull the user ID.
right. So now
Okay.
it's saying it still thinks, which it's right, is that right now I'm in a meeting of, it doesn't matter the user account at this particular point as far as the client is concerned, but as far as the app itself is concerned, I know that I'm in a meeting and I know that you're presenting, right? It doesn't at that particular point care who the user is. Now, here's another example why I brought this up for Hazmat too, is that there will be times where I'm in my boardroom and I would want to join an event, but I log in quickly in the boardroom to my calendar and I click on the link, but that I'm actually logging in and it's not a Zoom room that I'm in the boardroom. We've just got a regular Zoom client there. That's a default account of the room, but it actually logs me into the meeting as me. It doesn't log me into the meeting as the room name.
Okay,
Even
right,
though
because
I'm
you've
logged
entered
in
those
as,
credentials in.
it's, yeah, because I've clicked on my calendar and it's brought that through and is bringing it through the actual workplace app into the meeting, where I don't now have to go in there and go, oh yeah, all of a sudden everybody will see me as, boardroom one, cross tracks. It was like, no,
So it's
and after a
embedded.
few, yeah, so
It's embedded within the meeting invitation, or it's
it's,
embedded. How
well,
I know
again,
it's on your calendar, but on the
I think
calendar is a
it's,
meeting invitation, right?
yeah, and I know if John was here, he'd probably help me on this, but I think it's got to do with the official, how everybody gets their own unique URL, correct? So it's within the data of that unique URL that the client doesn't care what it's logged in as anymore. Yeah, I'm automatically, you're clicking on me. It's a Zoom app workplace app. It's going to bring me in as that person. It's just going to bring that all the way through because you signed up as X for that event. So it's going to make you X when you log into that event.
Mm-hmm.
I think and I know
think
John
that
would go,
clicks.
it's basically, I'm not saying it's something about the unique ID, I believe is a variable of some sort, but I think it's got to do more to how everything is tied in the back system with that infamous long key that we all see that the URL is quite long. There's got to be something in there variable wise that's spitting it through to the workplace app. Yes, I'm saying that right. And then that's spitting it to
I know
the
that the
connection of the
pass.
meeting or whatever.
I know that the meeting ID and the password are embedded in there, and yeah, let me. Okay, this particular one I can't grab.
I have a different theory.
Sure.
So in the client app, I mean, you can essentially switch your account. And essentially, I'm logged in from the client in 3 of my accounts. And within client, I can then choose a particular account. But my theory is that if I'm logged in with one of the accounts in the portal, and when I join the meeting, it takes my portal accessed account as the user coming into the meeting. That's why I ended up with Mobile in Africa, which I didn't pick up.
Right.
And that's why I changed my name. So yeah, that's my
So
thinking.
yeah, so Hazmac, this is where I'm going back to, depending on the settings, you're in a Mac right now, right? So that's,
Yeah, correct.
so when
correct.
you're in, so when you're logged in through the portal, that's Safari, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. So again, it might have looked at your Safari. If your default is Safari and you're logged in as that in the portal, it will potentially
Bring
that one in because it's going to call again, depending on that external and John and Lord Zoom actually made a comment. He says it depends on the external app, how well it's written, meaning that, it depends on how it calls. Like, so an example would be, the examples that I've been giving were related to Google Calendar, where I've got the link is in my Google Calendar. I'll click on that. But again, in my Google Calendar, I'm logged into Chrome at that particular point. I could be logged in as my admin account or my personal account. But if that event was something that I signed up for in my personal account, it still will send my personal criteria to the event, even though I'm logged into the portal as an admin account, corporate wise, in the browser. Right. So it may or may not, depending on how the credential has been set up for what you're clicking on to get into the meeting or webinar or such, there may be additional information. That's where I'm going to go with that without going into that it's this part of it and that part of it and such like that. But that's my theory on that. Jason, am I out in the weeds on this?
No, I think you're on the right track. Hasmuk, does the Mobile Learn Africa have a separate email address associated with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I think when you click on the link to join, wherever that link is, here's an example coming up on the screen of a link to join. You could see all this gobbledygook embedded within the link. Obviously, the last little bit is denoted as the password. Some of these characters at the end relate to registration. But embedded in all this gobbledygook, here's the meeting ID up here. And then in this, and then let's see, here's the token. And one of these, I forget which one, is the email address. In other words, the ID that's associated with it. So this is, when you get that blue join button, behind that blue join button is all of this gobbledygook.
Right.
And then again, in there is something that zooms in and the app's end to make sure that you come in as X person.
Yeah. Right. Somewhere around. Can I highlight it? Yeah. Somewhere around here is where that's at, because it's around this token indicator here. So yes.
So so it really depends on the management of how you've got your now again, if you're in a different Mac and it has different defaults set up to it too, it'll act differently. Right?
Yeah.
Just be, again, it depends on the consistency of, is this Mac, if you're on this Mac, will it act this way? And I go to this Mac, will it act that way? And, variations of different versions of this and different settings of that, it easily can make a mess. Go ahead, Jason.
And if you're using that little add-on, depending upon what web browser you use, like in Chrome, they call it a plugin, where it's the join Zoom button, and it holds the credentials in that little applet. So if the cache isn't cleared out or whatever, that's where it's holding it. And who knows what the credentials were last time you logged in using that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with puzzles. So I love them, but I hate them because I'm restless till I solve it.
That's right. So yeah. So once again, yes, this again, it's even though this is not broadcast based or anything like that, it's still important because not only are we responsible for a lot of our clients to make sure that what the content is going out looks like. Of course, we are officially inheriting the infamous tech support of, well, they couldn't connect to see.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. So
that's the biggest thing. So and so can't join the meeting, or so and so is here. Oh, really? Well, I look in the participants panel and I don't see John Doe. I see Sally Brown. Oh yeah. Well, he logged in using his wife's computer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or tablet or phone.
Right.
Or yeah.
Right. Or the kid back in the COVID days, the kid used the computer last and signed into Zoom in order to attend their class. And so, now mom is using this to join the Zoom meeting for work, and she shows up as, Billy Johnson and has the avatar turned on and the eyebrows and all this kind of stuff. And she doesn't know how to turn it off.
That Jason brings up that story, but that has actually made the news in the States. People getting Oh yes, yeah. I've seen a couple of
Okay.
news article video stories from news, very large news people in the States that have actually said, "Oh yes, all of a sudden the mother decided to use the computer after the son was using it all day at school, and all of a sudden she ended up with bunny ears." So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I've overstayed my stay
well,
in the
Hasbach, we're
kitchen.
more worried about that you're going to fall asleep as you're over there, So no, but this is good. No, we're glad to answer any of your questions.
I'm going to think about this and experiment tomorrow, and
Yeah.
then I shall share my results, because what I plan to do is play with the browser and the app and see what it does. But
Yeah,
definitely
I would when you do that too, is when you're experimenting, make sure you log out
Yeah.
of everything,
That's what I'm getting at. So
right? And then one by one,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you don't log out of everything,
yeah.
you're just going to cause yourself, Hasmuk, you have next to no hair. I'm getting closer to you, but the rest of it's going to be coming out too, because you're going to go, what am I not doing? So yes, log out of everything.
And you have to clear the history and clear the cache, because logging out isn't just enough.
Right.
And it's a little bit easier with Safari than it is with Chrome and Edge, because in addition to clearing out cache and history and cookies, there's also some secret squirrel stuff that's stored in the profile. And so you have to go in the profile and either remove it or sign out of the profile, which is why I don't go in that direction. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Log in through the workplace app, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. So and again, too, Hasbach, it would be different too. Let's say you're clicking on, let's say you've already incorporated your calendar into the workplace app, then it's a different story, because the workplace app knows it is its own browser, so it doesn't have to go to your default browser then, right?
Gotcha.
So again, that will make your complications less if you're clicking on a calendar link within Google, because Google knows, oh, it's a Google link, I'm not going to send that externally because I know what to do with that, right?
Mhm.
It all comes down to that infamous tag of, do I know what to do with this URL or not? And that's where in Chrome it goes, I don't know what to do with this. It's just a regular URL to Zoom servers. And then that's why the first time you've done that, even if you get to a new person, as an example, when we're talking about the vanity URLs, right? So all of a sudden you have your, as Lord Zoom does, he has lordzoom.zoom.us. But the first time you click on that link and it has his Lord Zoom at the beginning, your browser is going to ask you, do I trust this link, right? To do that next time. And then it goes, okay, yeah. And then it knows that, okay, for these type of links, I should be calling Zoom, and then it's going to the Zoom workplace app to actually bring it up, right? So it's all the different layers of, your PC or your Mac is going to do its best to try to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But if you've clicked on certain things during your configuration that may prevent it, where all of a sudden you saw this pop up and it's like, oh no, I don't want to touch that, and you disable that, you might actually be causing yourself more grief down the road. Gotcha. Where all of a sudden it won't launch the Zoom workplace app because it's like, well, you told me not to. So it's not that it's not going to listen to you, right? It is going to listen to you.
Experiment and report back next week.
I will do that. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
You got it, Hasbach. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
So, Jason, do I dare talk about Windows?
Nope. No, because I'm going to wrap it up too. It's
no,
Friday.
He's leaving me. I insulted him because I brought up Windows. Oh my goodness.
No, it's Friday. It's time.
All right. On that
Thank you
note.
All. Good kitchen today.
Take care, Jason.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right. On that note, everybody on YouTube, it is that time of the day where we wrap this up. So I'm going to choose our infamous theme song for the day. And if you're still with us, I want to see a lot of singing and type it out in chat. And here we go.
meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions. We'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No rest. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No rest.
All right, Zoom Test Kitchen community. Thanks everyone for joining us this week. Hopefully we'll talk about Zoomtopia following next week or on next week's show. Don't forget to, before you leave us this week, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And those likes are really important so we can have more Zoomies come visit us here on the channel. Don't forget, we're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And I would like to say from everybody here at Zoom Test Kitchen, see everyone next week for another raving edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, you too.